Dear students, this channel is for practicing PTE modules every day. If you are struggling with PTE reading module, you can purchase a reading course, which may help you to ace your reading score. Contact us on 6367949840, 9588068207.
ELTs feature large circular tables that seat 9 students and can accommodate laptop computers for collaborative work. Typically, students bring their own computers to class and use the building's ubiquitous wireless capability. The classrooms are designed to facilitate hands-on activities and problems that require students to interact with each other to reach a solution. Students can display their work on large LCD screens mounted around the room to promote small and large group discussion. Each table is allotted 3 gooseneck microphones so that students can make themselves heard without shouting during group discussions. Additionally, students can press a button on their table console to light a signal lamp to indicate when they need help or wish to speak. To facilitate brainstorming and group reporting, the room is also lined with erasable marker boards. Lawrence Stephen Lowry, November 1, 1887 – February 23, 1976, was an English artist. Many of his drawings and paintings depict Pendlebury, Lancashire, where he lived and worked for more than 40 years, and also Salford and its surrounding areas. Lowry is famous for painting scenes of life in the industrial districts of northwest England in the mid-20th century. He developed a distinctive style of painting, and is best known for his urban landscapes peopled with human figures often referred to as matchstick men. He painted mysterious, unpopulated landscapes, brooding portraits and the unpublished marionette works, which were only found after his death. It is important to emphasize the need for hard work as an essential part of studying law, because far too many students are tempted to think that they can succeed by relying on what they imagine to be their natural ability without bothering to add the expenditure of effort. To take an analogy, some people prefer the more or less instant gratification, which comes from watching a television adaptation of a classic novel, to the rather more laborious process of reading the novel itself. Those who prefer watching television to reading the book are less likely to study law successfully, unless they rapidly acquire a taste for text-based materials. Organizations need to integrate their sales activities more both internally and with customers' needs, according to a new book co-authored by an academic at the University of East Anglia. The book addresses how sales can help organizations to become more customer-oriented and considers how they are responding to challenges, such as increasing competition, more demanding customers, and a more complex selling environment. Many organizations are facing escalating costs and a growth in customer power, which makes it necessary to allocate resources more strategically. The sales function can provide critical customer and market knowledge to help inform both innovation and marketing. However, the authors say that within the industry there is still uncertainty about the shape a future sales team should take, how it should be managed, and how it fits into their organization's business model. Symptoms start with a fever over 104 degrees Fahrenheit, chills, headache or body aches within a week. The patient has a dry cough, which might progress to shortness of breath. In 10% to 20% of cases, patients require mechanical ventilation to breathe. About 3.5% die from the disease. Symptoms generally begin in 2 to 7 days, but some reports suggest it might take as long as 10 days. Scientists are close to developing a lab test to diagnose SARS. In the meantime, it is diagnosed by its symptoms. There is no evidence that antibiotics or antiviral medicines help, so doctors can offer only supportive care. Patients with SARS are kept in isolation to reduce the risk of transmission. Scientists aren't sure yet, but some researchers think it's a newly discovered coronavirus, the family of viruses that cause some common colds. Newspapers have one basic purpose: to get the news as quickly as possible from its source, from those who make it to those who want to know it. Radio, telegraph, television, and other inventions brought competition for newspapers. So did the development of magazines and other means of communication. However, this competition merely spurred the newspapers on. They quickly made use of the newer and faster means of communication to improve the speed and thus the efficiency of their own operations. Today more newspapers are printed and read than ever before. Competition also led newspapers to branch out to many other fields. Besides keeping readers informed of the latest news, today's newspapers educate and influence readers about politics and other important and serious matters. Newspapers influence readers' economic choices through advertising. Most newspapers depend on advertising for their very existence. Newspapers are sold at a price that fails to cover even a small fraction of the cost of production. The main source of income for most newspapers is commercial advertising. The success in selling advertising depends on a newspaper's value to advertisers. This is measured in terms of circulation. How many people read the newspaper? Circulation depends much on the work of the circulation department and on the services or entertainment offered in a newspaper's pages. But for the most part, circulation depends on a newspaper's value to readers as a source of information about the community, city, country, state, nation, and world, and even outer space. For many people today, reading is no longer relaxation. To keep up their work they must read letters, reports, trade publications, interoffice communications, not to mention newspapers and magazine, a never-ending flood of words. In getting a job or advancing in one, the ability to read and comprehend quickly can mean the difference between success and failure. Yet the unfortunate fact is that most of us are poor readers. Most of us develop poor reading habits at an early age and never get over them. The main deficiency lies in the actual stuff of language itself, words. Taken individually, words have little meaning until they are strung together into phrase, sentences, and paragraphs. Unfortunately, however, the untrained reader does not read groups of words. He laboriously reads one word at a time, often regressing to reward words or passages. Regression, the tendency to look back over what you have just read, is a common bad habit in reading.